Hello student, this is Pallad Darwari, your host, and you are watching Pallad Darwari classes. Today we will discuss the important questions of the first chapter of microeconomics, that is Introduction to Microeconomics. Firstly, we will discuss the 1 marks question. The first question that we will discuss is, with the help of an example, define microeconomics. See, when we study economy at the individual level, it is called microeconomics. So it is that branch of economic which study individuals, individual group, or study of economy in a small level is called microeconomics. The example of the microeconomic is demand made by a consumer, production made by Bombay cotton milk, because here we are considering the demand of an individual person or production made by an individual small unit, that is Bombay cotton mill. Let us see the second question. Define macroeconomics with the help of example. When we study economics as a whole, or when we study economy at the national level, it is called macroeconomics. Example: national income of the country, population of the country, per capita income, and so on. Here we are studying, calculating the income of the entire country. So here we are studying economy as a whole. When we are calculating the population, we are calculating the population of the entire country. We are not calculating the population in a house. So it is a macroeconomics. Here we don't have to write down that from which world the micro and the macro is being taken. There's no need. Let us see the next question, that is define opportunity cost. It is the next best alternative cost. Next question, why does an economic problem arise? Only in 1 marks we have to write down. So the answer will be the problem of making choice because of scarcity of resources is called economic problem. So the question is clear, because in 1 mark this is more than sufficient. Next question is, write down two characteristics of resources. Listen, the two characteristics of the resources we can say. First, resources are limited in number, or we can say limited supply of the resources are there. Second is, resources can be put to alternative uses. So the two characteristics are clear. Number one is scarcity, second to alternative uses. Next question, what do you mean by scarcity? Shortage of resources is called scarcity. In economic terms, we can say excess of demand over supply is called scarcity. Next question, what do you mean by marginal opportunity cost? In order to increase the production of one commodity, we have to sacrifice the production of another commodity. So the good sacrificed to increase the production of one commodity is called marginal opportunity cost. In a very simple word, we can say it is the ratio between loss in the production of X with respect to gain in the production of other. Next question, what do you mean by economy? It is the system or the organization which controls production, consumption, and distribution so that the country can grow prosperous is called economy. Example, American economy, Indian economy, and so on. Next question, why does economic problem arise? We have already discussed this question over here. Let us see the next question. Why is production possibility curve slopes left to right? Remember one thing, production possibility curve is shifting left to right if there is advancement in technology or finding the new sources of raw material. If we find new resources, or if the production technology has updated, the production will increase, because of which PPC will shift to the right hand side. Next question, why does the problem of choice arises? The problem of choice arises because of scarcity of resources. Since we are having the shortage of resources, that is why we have to make a choice. Next question, why does PPC look concave to the origin? The PPC curve concave to the origin because of increase in the margin opportunity cost. What it means? It means that in order to increase the production of one commodity, more and more goods has to be sacrificed. So there is increase in the margin opportunity cost. Because of increase in the margin opportunity cost, the PPC is concave. Next question, why does the slope what does the slope of PPC curve shows? The slope of the PPC curve shows inverse relationship between two commodities. What it means? It means that in order to increase the production of one commodity, the production of another commodity has to be decreased. Next question. Why does the slope of the PPC curve shows? By mistake, I have written this question again. Let us see questions of 3 to 4 marks. The next question is draw PPC and show the following. The first thing which we have to show is full employment of resources. Second, underutilization of resources. And the third is growth of resources. Listen, when I say fuller employment of resources, it means that we have to do the production according to the assumption, according to the options which we have decided at the time of drawing the PPC curve. Our production should be according to the PPC curve. Underutilization means what? It means that if the production is below the PPC curve or inside the PPC curve, it means that it is not according to the PPC curve. It means that the resources are not efficiently or effectively utilized. So there is a loss of resources and there is a underutilization of available technology. So we have presumed that the resources should be more, but because of wastages, the production which we get is less. It means standard was more, but the actual production was less. So that is why there is underutilization of resources. Growth of resources means what? It means if the production is outside the PPC curve. When I say the production is outside the PPC curve, it means what? It means that the production is more as expected by the organization. That is on account of overutilization of resources. This is the definition which I explained to you right now. We can say that fuller employment of resources, a point anywhere on the PPC curve. The point on the PPC curve shows the fuller employment of resources. It means that the production is according to the assumption. The next is underutilization. It means the point inside the PPC curve. It means that we were expecting that the production should be more, but because of wastage of the resources or not efficiently using the technologies, the production is falling down. So it should be inside the production possibility curve. Next is growth of resources. Growth of the resources means the point should be outside the PPC curve. It means that overutilization of resources. The graph will be like this one. The point on the PPC curve, this is the PPC curve PP, and the point on the PPC curve shows the fuller employment of resources, and the point inside the PPC curve, this is the PPC curve PP, and this is the point which we can see inside the PPC, that is the underutilization of resources. And any point on this curve, outside this curve, anywhere, whether it will be on P dash or outside the P dash as well. So any point outside this curve, PP curve, is called growth of resources. Growth of resources means what? It means that the production is more than expected. Production is more than expected. Might be because of overutilization of resources. I hope this point is clear. Let us see the next question. Why does PPC curve look concave to the origin? In 1 marks, obviously we have seen the answer there I have given to you was that there is an increasing MOC, marginal opportunity cost. Remember one thing, marginal opportunity cost or marginal rate of transformation, both are the same thing. If the examiner use the word MOC or they use the word MRT, don't be confused, don't be perplexed. Let us see the answer. PPC looks concave to the origin because of increasing marginal rate of transformation. Same thing, marginal opportunity cost or marginal rate of transformation. Why? Because of increasing marginal opportunity cost. Because MOC is increasing, it means more and more unit of commodity Y are sacrificed to get additional unit of X commodity. It means that in order to increase the production of X commodity, more and more Y unit is sacrificed. That is why MOC is increasing. We can try to explain the same thing through this schedule. Let us see. Here, what is the thing which you are observing? We can see that the MOC is increasing. Earlier it was 1, then it increased to 2, then it increased to 3, then it increased to 4. It means that MOC is increasing. We can see that in the production of Y there is a fall and in the production of X there is a gain. So here we can say earlier 1 unit of Y is sacrificed to increase 1 unit of X, then 2 unit of Y is sacrificed in order to increase the production and 1 unit of X is increased. Then we sacrificed 3 unit of Y to increase 1 more additional unit of X. Then then 4 unit of Y is sacrificed to increase additional 1 unit of x. So here we can say that more and more y is being sacrificed to increase unit of x. That is why MOC is increasing, and because of this increase in the MOC, the shape of the PPC is concave. This is the shape of the concave, that we can see that concave means from the origin the shape will be like this one. That this shape is called concave from the origin. Concave from the origin. This is origin. If we look it from this side, it will not be a concave. Let us see the next question. What does a PPC shows? When will it shift to the right? Production possibility curve shows different combination of two goods. That is the definition of the PPC. What is the definition of the PPC? We know that the demands of every individual is unlimited. In order to increase the production of one commodity, every person has to sacrifice the production of another commodity. This gives birth to many options. When we represent all these combinations through a graph, it is called production possibility curve. And remember one thing, the production possibility curve will only shift to the right. When I say shift to the right, it means that when will we get more production than expected? That is called shift to the right. The PPC curve will shift to the right only in two cases. The first is finding the new sources of raw material, and second is updation in technologies. If somehow the technology get updated, there will be a fall in wastage, and because of fall in wastage, the production will increase. Secondly, if we find new sources of raw material, definitely the production will increase further. So in these two cases, the production can shift to the rightward side. The shape of the PPC will be like this one. We can see that earlier the PPC curve is this, and because of advancement in technologies or because of finding new sources of the raw material, the production has increased. That is called growth of production. Let us see what is the next question. Does production takes place only in the PPC? Remember one thing, the production on the PPC means production as expected. Production inside the PPC means production below the expectation. And the production outside the PPC means production more than expected. It means the production can be inside the PPC also, on the PPC also, and outside the PPC also. Yes, it should be on the PPC, but no, why? Because it can be inside also, it can be outside also, it can be on the also. Yes means if given resources are fully and efficiently utilized, then the production will be on the PPC. Why I'm saying no? If the resources are underutilized or inefficiently utilized, then the production will be inside the PPC. You can see also, and the third point is also there. No, why? Because if PPC can also be outside the PPC curve, the production can also be outside the PPC curve. If it is more than expected, it means overutilization of resources. We can say inside point on the PPC, it means on the PPC, production should be on the PPC, and if lying anywhere here or outside the PP, it will be also outside the PPC. It means no, option is no. Let us see the next question. Why does an economic problem arise? Explain. Listen, the reason, actually we are having 4 reasons, but since the weightage of this question is 3 marks, so what we have to do, we only have to write down 3 reasons. The first reason is unlimited wants. Human wants go on multiplying with expansions of educations, knowledge, scientific advancement and growth. A man cannot satisfy all his wants, and therefore he has to make a choice in order of urgency. What it means? It means that economic problem is arising. Why it is arising? Because all the time the person has to decide, the person has to choose. Why the person has to decide? Why the person has to select? Why? Because he is when one want satisfied, the other pops up automatically. It will become very difficult for the person to get rid of the wants. Always new wants take over the place of satisfied wants. So it is always unsatisfied, and every now and then the person has to find out the ways and means to satisfy his wants. So there he has to decide. He has to make a choice. The next is limited resources. The resources are limited in relation to need for them. It is the main cause of economic problem. It means that every person has to decide the quantity at which we are supposed to use the resources, so we have to make a choice. Alternative resources, it means the person also has to make a choice in which alternative he should use the resources. What it means, suppose the resources can be used for the production of x and y, then the person has to decide whether he will use the resource for the production of x or for the production of y, or 50% for the production of x and 50% or so on. It means he has to decide the alternatives where he has to use the resources. Let us see the next question. Calculate marginal rate of transformation or marginal opportunity cost xy at different production possibilities from the following hypothetical data, and after that we have to draw the graph and the schedule. Answer. This is the question which is being given to us. Here we have to calculate the MOC or MRT, and after that we have to draw the graph. Listen, the formula to calculate the marginal opportunity cost or MRT is delta y upon delta x. Delta y means what? It means loss in the production of y, and delta x means gain in the production of x. So the formula is loss upon gain. Delta means change in y divided by change in x. In the case of option A, we can't calculate MOC y because we don't have the option prior to A. So it is impossible to calculate the marginal opportunity cost at the option A. We should calculate, or we can only calculate it from the point B, from the option B. Here, the loss in y is 1 and the gain in the production of x is 1. So loss upon gain, loss 1, gain 1. So we can say 1 upon 1, answer is 1. Answer I have not written, but you know 1 upon 1 is 1. In the case of C, we can see change 2, loss is 2 and the gain is 1. So it means 2 upon 1, answer is 2. Then D, option D, when we jump to option D, we can see that there is a loss of 3 units and there is a gain of 1 unit. So 3 upon 1, answer is 3. When we jump to E unit, we can say there is a fall of 4 unit in order to increase the production of 1 unit, that is in the case of X. So 4 upon 1, that is 4 only. F option, loss 5 unit, gain over here 1 unit. It means what? It means 5 upon 1, that is 5. The same thing we see through this schedule. The schedule will be like this one: this point, this point, this point, and this point. Let us see the seventh question. Explain properties of a production possibility curve. There are two properties of the production possibility curve. Number one, downward sloping. PPC curve is always downward sloping. Why? Because in order to increase the production of one commodity, there is a increase in the production of other commodity. So in short, we can say that in the case of production possibility curve, there exists a negative relationship between two commodities. One is increasing, other is decreasing. That is called negative relationship. Whenever we are having a negative relationship, the curve is always downward sloping. Next is concave to the origin. It means that more and more unit of y is sacrificed in order to increase the production of x. Mostly the MOC has a concave shape, not always concave shape. Because in the previous video you have seen that whenever explaining the shape of the PPC, it can be a straight line also, it can be a concave also, it can be a convex also. But mostly the shape is concave from the origin or concave to the origin. This is the shape. You can see concave, and here you can see that is called downward sloping. Upward sloping will be like this one. This one. This is upward sloping. Let us see the next question. Explain the problem of what to produce. The first central problem is what to produce. The technical name of this problem is problem of allocation of resources. Every economy has to decide the type of the goods they should manufacture, whether they should manufacture X goods or they should manufacture Y goods. After deciding the type of the goods, they will decide the quantity in which they have to manufacture the goods. So this particular problem has two aspects. Firstly, we have to decide the type, then we have to decide the quantity in which the good should be manufactured. The guiding factors which the person always keep in their mind at the time of deciding is technological availability, profit, demand, cost. If the demand of X good is more, definitely we should go for the production of X goods. If the margin of the profit is more in Y case, then we should go for the Y, and so on. So at the time of deciding the type of the goods, we should consider this guiding four factors, that is technologies, cost, profit, demand, and so on. Let us see the next question. Explain the problem how to produce. It means selection of the techniques of production. This is the other name, selection of techniques of production. We know that we are having two types of the techniques. One is labor intensive and the other is called the capital intensive. Every economy has to decide whether they should go for the labor intensive techniques of production or the capital intensive techniques of production. When I say intensive techniques of the production, what it means use the available labor to do the production. Or when I say capital intensive techniques, what it means use the capital base to do the production. In America, the technology soundness is there, so they opted the capital intensive techniques. In our country, abundance of labor is there, so we should go and we are opting the labor intensive method. So the guiding factor over here is motive, availability of technologies, cost. Let us discuss the next question. What is marginal rate of transformation? Explain with the help of example. Marginal rate of transformation is the rate at which one unit of one good, the unit of one good have to be sacrificed to produce one more unit of other goods. In a very simple word, we can say, suppose economy is manufacturing two goods, X and Y. So MRT means what? Increase the ratio between sacrificed and gain. It means how many unit of Y is being sacrificed in order to increase the production of X. This ratio, the unit of Y sacrificed to increase the production of X, is called marginal rate of transformation. Let us see the example. Here we can say the economy produces X, 1 X unit and 10 Y unit. If the economy decide to produce 2 X unit, then definitely there should be a cut in the production of Y. Suppose this cut is by 2, then 2Y is the opportunity cost of producing 1 X unit, then 2Y is to 1 is the marginal opportunity cost. That's all we have in this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you all.